pretty comprehensive win, Ben. And I think it was a step up from the game the other day against Canada. Is that a year, sorry?
Yeah, so we had a pretty firm talking at half time, but they knew it wasn't probably up to standard at half time, but obviously testing conditions, but we trained in that and we were prepared for that. So overall pretty happy, and obviously to keep them to 0 was the main objective at half time, and yeah, in the end very happy.
In that second half, you mentioned 52 points. What was the message during the break?
Just be very direct in how we played, and we obviously we didn't execute how we wanted to at the start of the game. We talked about starting well. We didn't start that well, and obviously to their credit, they put their heads down and executed quite well in the second half.
Next up is obviously a game against England. To finish first, so you're going to have to beat the hosts. How much of a challenge is that going to be, and does this victory give you a massive boost ahead of that game?
Oh, definitely. Going 2 from 2, that was the main objective going into the World Cup, and now that we can move on to the next stage of round 3. I know these girls have got very, very fond memories of Port Moresby in 2019, so we'll certainly talk about that at some stage, but we're here now in the World Cup, and basically we've talked about competing the whole time since we've been here, and they will compete against England on round 3.
4 tries for Belinda today. How great was that performance, especially in that second half?
Nah, very, very happy for Belinda, and obviously for the whole group, but obviously Belinda's a talent, and she certainly deserved the 4 tries, and really happy with her.
Belinda, have you got a place to put that medal at home? I mean, after that performance, is it going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to my son. He's watching at home, so he's so proud.
And just what are your thoughts during that game? I mean, to score 4 tries in any game is a massive feat, but you seem to tear the side to the limb from limb out there.
Yep. It was true that teamwork, and I had to score this 4 tries. And I'm happy for my girls too, my teammates. It was true that teamwork that I had to get this woman of the match too and score that try as well.
How old's your son?
It's 4.
It's 4. Yeah, and he's watching at home?
He's watching at home.
Yeah. Do you speak to him?
Yep. Before the match.
It must be hard to leave him at home and come here, so it's obviously worth it. Elsie, Ben just mentioned the game against Great Britain, England a few years ago. How much confidence have you taken out of that game?
Oh yeah, like you said, we've beaten them in PNG I think 4 years ago, and that's 4 years ago. So coming into this game, they're a strong side. So like you said, we have to go back and work hard on what we have to work on. This game, going into this game, the first half, we didn't play the way we're supposed to play, and we had a really good half time, and going back we stick to just simple plays, and we got the win. So just looking forward to that game.
And I see you scored a try as well yourself. I think this is your first of the tournament. You must have been very happy with that.
Yeah, this is my first World Cup, and I think everyone would be excited if they scored the first try in the World Cup. So yeah, that was my first, and just excited that I get to score my first World Cup try as well.
Ben, how much do you think this PNG team has come on since 2019, since their last game against England? How much of a better team are they now compared to them?
Yeah, obviously that was a fair win in Port Moresby in 29, but absolutely they've come on leaps and bounds, I think, and more so internally as a group. I think they're starting to understand that to be at an elite level, you have to have certain standards, and they're starting to buy into that part, which we're trying to create within the group. And as Belinda alluded to, she's talking about her teammates more so than herself, and that's what we've all been talking about. For this campaign to be successful, it's going to be a squad basically to compete and to execute. So they've done really well.
And obviously England knocked PNG men's team out of the World Cup earlier today. It's an opportunity to set the record straight, and you're obviously flying the flag for PNG now for the rest of the tournaments. Yeah,
we spoke about how we, if the first couple of games, if we competed and got the results, you'll change the face of rugby league in PNG, and they're going to do that, and it's up to them how far they want to go from here.
How much impact do you think it can have?
Oh, huge. If you understand, I suppose, what they went through in 2017, how much adversity it took them to get onto the field and just compete, and they're still facing that at home in PNG. But obviously, hopefully, this changes it more so for the better going forward as well.
How much motivation do you have to sort of spoil the English party?
Oh, it's not going to be a secret. Like, we're here to spoil the party for sure. So obviously we'll put our best foot forward, and obviously I think more so pressure on them. There's no pressure on us. So we'll be looking forward to the challenge.
Is there any added motivation from the men's result today to get one back for PNG on the ball?
Possibly from the female within the team, but not from my point of view. But it would be more so we're here to do a job. We're here to enjoy ourselves, here to compete, as I mentioned, and we'll put our best foot forward and see how we go.
How are you going to handle, obviously England are coming with some big threats all over the park? How are you going to handle that compared to that?
Yeah, I think it's more so going to be about us, where we know how we execute. Obviously, we've got some decent players, and rightfully so. They've got some really good players, and obviously we've got our talents as well. And I'm sure once we hit the field, we'll go toe to toe with them at some point.
Have you watched any of their games recently?
Yep, watched both today. Watched today's and the one before. Obviously, yeah, they're scoring plenty of points, but now they've got to face some adversity around some attack and defence. So hopefully we get our own share of the ball. We can ask some questions and see what they come up with.
And also a couple of efforts today for Tara Moxon, who's obviously came to the PNG side. Could you tell us something about her impact in the short space of time in the team? Because she obviously plays for Leeds Rhino. She's obviously based here, so just wondering what you think of her.
Yeah. So obviously, unfortunately, we had to. Joanne Laguna went home, and obviously it was a pretty easy fit for Tara to come in. She played in the Super League, had the experience, and lived in Leeds, so it was quite an easy fit straight away. She's moved in quite well, and she obviously got a chance tonight, scored a couple of tries, and her experience, and she actually talks quite well top prison, so which is so influential inside the group, and understanding that and knowing that she comes from PNG, yeah, she's fitted straight in, to be honest.
And obviously she's the grand final winner now, isn't she, with Leeds Rhino, so she's got that big game experience. Yeah, so it's going to be a few selection headaches, but that's how we wanted it. And then the girls understand it within the group. They had to compete on the field today, but they have to compete for their spots as well. So that's one thing they've tried to deal with internally as well, and they're starting to understand that as well.
Just a word on your opponents today. Still a developing nation, but they asked questions, didn't they?
Absolutely. So I've watched all two games, and then watched the trial against France. They're obviously a developing nation like PNG, but they're just at a different stage. So the female game's only going to grow bigger and better. So they're going to be much better for this experience going into the 25 World Cup. So. Like all other teams, but definitely those developing countries like Brazil. I can't fault their effort. They keep showing up. Obviously, sometimes the scoreline doesn't help, but if I was their coach, I'd be proud of what they've come up with so far.